All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Business Blueprints. This is episode 31, and we have some original members here, people we've been using from day one. Greg Sproul with Capture Listings. Hey, man, I got to say, we have been doing this for about 6 years now, and I was just thinking about it and talking with the team. There's only you and one other sub and vendor that has been doing this with us from the very start.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah. Super cool.
That's cool.
No doubt.
I appreciate it.
You've seen every single house.
Yeah. The progression.
And the evolution of them and how they've kind of changed over the years.
That's amazing.
Definitely
It's
awesome.
been a ride. I appreciate it.
Yeah. No
You're
doubt,
one of the
man.
originals.
So how did the whole space with you and doing this start?
Great question, because I get that at every shoot. Everyone asks, how did you start doing this? This is
how you decide you want to get into this?
Really unique job,
yeah.
right?
It's very niche.
Yeah, it is. It is. And that can be scary when you're starting out.
Yes.
But in Pittsburgh, it really needed it.
Yeah.
So there's such a demand that it's sometimes hard to keep up, as is.
As I can tell from my scheduling here.
Yeah, it can be tough in the spring especially.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so right out of high school, I knew I'm not going to college.
Awesome.
This is
Great
not
choice.
for me.
Me too.
But I didn't really know where to go next.
Yeah.
And so a couple years go by, I'm trying different types of photography on the side, not making any money. And my parents started a course on real estate investing. So they got a house, we were flipping a house, and then we needed pictures to sell it.
So did they do like a fortune builders thing or
No,
like
it was
one of
the
those?
rich dad.
Okay, cool. Rich dad, poor dad. Yeah. I started like that too, dude. Like I tell people, everybody like wants to talk shit on these courses a little bit, and I'm like, listen, I bought into fortune builders, and I think we spent $25,000, and like if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here.
It's true. Yeah.
You got to put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
Because it creates action.
It does, yeah. And so we needed these photos, and I'm like, well, I think I can do it. And I loved it because there's no one yelling at me that they need to fix their hair or anything like that. It's not portrait photography. So did that, and then I got a couple messages on that listing, like, who did your photos? And I'm like, well, it was me, and they're like, well, let's have some listing photos done for my real estate. So I met a couple people, word of mouth grew, and then in 2019, 2020, the market went insane.
Yeah.
And through word of mouth, really, we just grew to where we needed to add team
Organically.
members. Organically, yeah.
So no ad spend, no nothing.
No, I did have some Facebook marketing I did without ads. I just literally interacted with people as captured listings.
Just your organic posting throughout social platforms.
Organic postings, commenting, liking, stuff like that. And I did that solid for a year. And then I'm like, if I market anymore, we're not going to be able to take on the work. So
have you guys had discussions inside of your organization now, like how big do you want to get this? Because obviously, like, you can get to a point where it's too big, right? And you're gonna have to like back people down, because I'm sure you have slow seasons, winter, spring. Spring's killing it.
That's the trick.
Summer's doing good. Winter starts to kind of taper off. Now, I'm gonna assume your stuff follows the real estate market identically.
It really does. We're like 2 weeks out from when people see a difference. So because we're shooting the house, then in 2 weeks it's on the market. So we kind of know what's happening. And agents ask us all the time, how's the market looking? And we're like, it's getting busy. They're like, well, I don't have any. I'm like, well, just wait a little bit. You'll be busy.
It's funny that they start to ask you of like, hey, what's going on? Because you're seeing a bunch of different agents. You're seeing a bunch of different perspectives. You're seeing a bunch of different houses.
Right.
You're seeing different communities, different areas, different this, different that.
Right, yeah. But to grow the team is difficult because you got to find a talented person that can do the work. And then what if in the winter it drops off and we don't have enough for them? You got to be really careful. You don't want to set someone up like that.
So how big is your team now?
Right now, we actually have my wife, Chloe, and I, and then another photographer out in the field. And then we have an editing team on the side to help us with that.
Are they 1099 or
1099?
Okay, so they're separate. Use them when you need them.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So is that who chops up our reels and the other stuff, or do you do that? Or is that the editing
I
team?
like to do a lot of the videos.
Okay,
That's
cool.
my specialty there. But yeah, like I said, I'd love to have 5 photographers,
Yeah,
and get to that point. That's kind of my goal. That
Yeah.
would be a perfect size. That would actually be a really big size if each person does 3 a day.
And you kind of step back a little bit and be more, or do
Exactly.
you want to still be involved?
I would like to do more luxury only if
Okay.
I can.
Yep.
But it doesn't bother me. I'll shoot whatever.
Sure. Yeah, that's cool because it's in the sense of like, it has to. I figured when I was kind of driving, I was thinking about the story. I'm like, it has to be an organic following with you, because real estate's a very relationship building type of industry. We're very small here in Pittsburgh. So
Yeah,
like
everyone
kind of knows what everyone's doing a little bit. That's why I think people ask too, because in real estate's a little different than construction. Like there's some hate that goes on in the real estate world.
There
is.
There
like,
is.
what are they doing over there?
We hear a lot of gossip.
I'm sure you do.
It's weird.
I'm sure you do.
It's like, I don't care.
Yeah,
but
but the other person probably has some of the times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
It puts you in a weird position, no doubt. So do you see an uptick as far as like, are you trying for the luxury brands a little bit more, or you're just kind of getting what you're getting?
Right now, until we can add a third person on as a photographer, I really have to take all types of houses.
Yes.
And I can't really focus too much on
Sure.
one type. But I do like the luxury ones,
Yeah.
especially for video. There's so much you can do with
Yeah,
that.
because you have so many cool features. You have so much bigger area, a lot more to film.
Yeah, a lot of effects you can throw in there
Yeah,
to cool
definitely.
transitions, long shots throughout the whole house. But yeah, I'll do anything,
Sure, no doubt. Yeah, it's the reason why I was asking is because we're kind of doing a twofold right now.
Yeah.
And we're testing the market a little bit.
Okay.
So what our research tells us and our data tells us is our social media platform organic following gets us about that 5 to 650 build, kind of brings those people.
Okay.
And then we just recently did a big audit on our marketing. We did Google ads for the last few years, pretty heavy, and with success. And the market all of a sudden just shifted, and we were spending a few $1,000s a month on ad spend, and it was just tapered off. And we started asking our marketing team, like, what's going on here? Why don't we do a deeper dive? So then we started realizing that our website is being outperformed by the other builders' websites because they have more orphan pages, they have more SEO-driven keywords. Okay. We're losing 47% of the time. So now we rebranded, dropped the Google AdWords, recreated a new SEO website, which is going to be tailored more to luxury. Because we want that.
Nice.
We want to try and get more of what we're not getting organically, because organically we already have a following, we already have a presence, we already have a brand, and which we want to keep. And now we want to more so target that more luxury market with the SEO website and things of that nature. That's why I was kind of, asking, are you seeing an uptick? Like, what tactics are you using to get in front of those people, those agents? Obviously there's agents that do the same thing, right? They want to do luxury brand only, and they don't want to do anything else.
And their whole brand has to look like that.
Correct.
Everything they do, everything they post. Yeah, and that helps too.
Yeah, it becomes one of those things where it's like, it all has to kind of linear match and do all that type of stuff.
So for you, it came natural. You didn't say, I want to start focusing on luxury, but really you saw a shift in that.
It just became, because especially like you said, 2019, 2000, that COVID era, like we made no fucking money, like none, but we built a shit ton of houses.
Yeah.
And had to, that was kind of our growth period, which was like a weird thing for us because we grew during a time that we made zero money. Like fucking, we actually lost money, like a lot.
That's wild.
And it was one of those things where like, all right, well, we made that decision to do that. And then I started looking at it and we're like, okay, we do this remodeling business as well, which you've done some of our basements and some of those stuff too. And we're like, all right, well, where do we shift our time now? We're like, well, we do this business over here in remodeling. It's very time consuming. Well, if we close that down, can we survive on new construction only? Or are we cash supported? And we looked at it and I was like, well, our average sale is like 860. I'm like, all right, well, how do we get this to go more into, brand more of that $1 million plus client? Because now that the economy is in what it's in, we're seeing more of the uptick of the $1 million plus of people who just really aren't affected by it as much.
They go on the market, those houses, and they're sold.
They're just kind of, we're getting more of the people who aren't affected by interest rates. They're not affected as much by economical things, but the direct consumer, it definitely is more affected.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Have you seen kind of I know you're busy, but have you seen kind of a slower than 2 years ago, or do you think spring's just spring?
I think we're slower than before.
Yeah.
Because we had 3 photographers 2 or 3 years ago in the spring, and we couldn't handle that.
Yeah.
That was still, we didn't have enough photographers for that. Now we're really good. We're just on the line of like not being able to accommodate some people.
That's good. That's where you want to be.
It's okay. Yeah. Not turning away everyone, but just comfortable, and that's good. So there's less in that market of under $1 million homes. Yeah.
That's good. That's so what are you doing now to kind of more focus on that luxury? Do you have a plan of action? Is it relationships with those agents that want to do just luxury branding? Or are you just kind of more putting out just higher content based upon the luxury market?
Right. No, what the plan is going to be is to really focus our marketing content with those luxury homes in the pictures and videos when the time comes. If we add another team member now, then I could step back a little more and only do the luxury homes and really go all out on those. Yeah. So it would be really just showing people our content from previous luxury homes we've done before, more focused on that.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to do, we were talking, me and Taylor were talking, like we want to do a lot more of what we did over at Todd's and do like the befores and the afters, how you did that reel like that.
Right.
I really like that a lot.
Yeah, that's really helpful for you guys. And then,
well, it's really helpful from the sense of like people just don't know, like they only usually see a finished product. Yeah. And like we're always been really keen on wanting people to see the process during it, because it's just as important. Like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people put lipstick on some bullshit, but like, is it really a good quality product, or is it just, what is this?
Yeah, so every step of your projects will be worth showing to people.
Yeah, we kick that around too, of like, putting together stuff of like all the phases and merging it into, one big video at the end and stuff like that. But, like I said, it was for us, the marketing aspect has changed. So like 6 years ago, it was all about you had to build a following, you had to build a brand, you had to build these things. Those were the only people that could see it. Now, as of last year, or most started last year, now all of this year, it's algorithm. It doesn't matter about your fucking following anymore. Like,
it almost doesn't even matter what the video is.
It's irrelevant.
Which hurts me. Yeah. Because I want it to look good.
Yeah, for sure.
But people are posting anything. Yeah. And it works.
And you can have one follower and it can go viral.
It could.
Which is nuts.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting time because, like, again, I'm not an enormous fan of marketing. I'm more of an operator, but it's extremely important. There's no doubt about it.
One thing that we really struggled with trying to actually use ads is every time we would make one, it said, "Oh, you're trying to sell houses." Yeah. And it says special ad requirements, you're done. Yeah. So I've never really been able to use Facebook.
Gotcha. On the Facebook ad spend, because it looks like you're trying to sell.
No matter what, I've tried customer service and everything. It's just
what's wild is now it's basically direct to consumer on those platforms. Like TikTok has their own direct to consumer shit. They sell on TikTok stores. Yeah. Like, I don't know much about TikTok, or I don't have one, but it's, for me, like, I'm just been paying attention more to the latest marketing stuff. And it's now direct to consumer on these platforms.
And for us, like, our clients are mostly real estate agents, and they're not on TikTok. So if we market there, it's not going to get any. Yeah.
Do you think that's a mistake for real estate agents?
I'm not sure yet. Instagram is still the best place.
Yeah. Like, our reels do really well, and that's what we want to do. We want to focus a lot more on that too. We've had a couple, this year and last year get up in the 200,000.
Good. Yeah, that's like awesome. That, Anything over 100 is really viral.
Which is cool is that's kind of where we want to get to, is as far as just, creating long form content, chopping it up and putting out as maximum amount of, content as humanly possible. Now, I think it's kind of interesting. We were talking about this a little bit before, and I put it on pause, and we'll kind of dive into this. But real estate as a whole is just a very old style kind of business.
Industry, right?
Yes.
Right.
So are you seeing, I know now, like, some of the brokerages are getting a little bit more creative with some of their, the stuff that they do. as far as their marketing
Yeah.
material for the brokerage and some of that stuff. I've seen Realty do some stuff.
Okay, yeah.
I've seen some other, even Moving Mortgage. Like they always get kind of creative on some of their marketing
Yeah, I
stuff
love that.
and stuff like that. Do you think that's going to kind of shift a little bit, or you think real estate's just going to kind of stay at, because the wildest fucking thing that I think that I see anymore is people that still we're still debating and arguing with people about taking photos of houses with your fucking cell phone.
Yes. How is it possible?
Like, how are we still here?
How is it possible?
Like, how are we still here?
Yeah.
I thought like professional photos was just
No.
it's a mandatory.
If you open Zillow, you're going to see 80% cell phone.
Crazy. Still. It's wild.
Yeah.
Like, how, like, is there a reason? Like, have you met somebody or converted a client over the last year or so that was like, hey, I realize that this is now needed?
Yes, we do hear that.
What was the reason for not? They didn't want to spend the money?
I don't know what it was. I never really asked, why haven't you done this?
You should now.
And I
Ask
should,
them.
yeah.
Like, hey,
that would
why
be an
were you never
interesting
not
point.
doing professional photos before 2025?
Right. A lot of the times agents finally had a listing that was worth doing it, is what they say. Normally they're
That
like
makes sense.
only listing $50,000 homes that need totally
Yeah. No, that makes total
renovated.
sense.
That's
Okay.
one common one. But yeah, as far as, $800,000 homes that they're using a cell phone, I have no idea why.
I don't think I don't remember a time I've never not used a
Right.
professional
Yeah.
photographer.
Yeah, and
Ever.
I think when a lot of the old school agents phase out or retire, we're just going to see all this new generation filling in that gap.
Are
So
you
it's-
seeing a new uptick of younger real estate agents getting into the
Yeah.
market for your business?
For us, yes, a little bit, but definitely on the West Coast.
Yeah.
We're seeing, on Instagram and stuff,
Yeah.
there's people that, look like they just graduated high school and they're
I don't see
crushing
it here though.
No, not as much.
Because I'm gonna go out on a limb and just do a wild assumption, and maybe I'm wrong, but there was, during the boom of COVID, the allure of money became a thing, and everybody thought this was some easy shit. Like,
Yeah,
they're just boom, 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 boom. I've been in real estate since 2013, and I am not like there's a massive difference between, like, I come from an off-market real estate world.
Yeah.
Like, I buy investment property more than I do real estate investment. Like, I'm not like, and we were talking about this before, like, if I have a listing that doesn't sell, I really don't know what to fucking do. Like, like I don't do enough. It's not really my main focus,
Okay.
I do
gotcha.
friends and family and things of that nature. But, as far as like a full-time blown agent, I'm not seeing a lot of the younger demographic doing it.
Not here.
It's hard.
They're not here, and it is difficult.
Because it takes you a minute to get rolling, just like any other business.
It's that, and every house that you list is a full-time job.
Yeah.
I feel
100%.
Yeah.
There's always everything that has to do with it.
So like you said,
that.
during COVID, there were so many thousands of new agents, and they're already gone. They didn't renew
Yeah.
since then.
Yeah, and it's awkward too now that the new things, the streaming and all the other stuff that's so captivated by the younger audience.
Mm-hmm.
And these kids are making fuck you money.
I know. It's insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. You used to have to be a real estate agent
To make fuck you
Yeah,
money. These dudes are making way more than any real estate agents
it's
are making.
wild,
I'm going
yeah.
to tell you that. But
Yeah. You know how many times I think about doing a YouTube channel, but I don't know what it would be,
Yeah, well, that was going to be that was going to be what I was going to lead into next. Like, have you ever thought about broadening your horizons on a YouTube channel or any of that other stuff?
Yeah, I have, and it's really hard being so busy as like I'm like an employee.
Yeah, sure.
And until I can step out of that and fill that role, it is hard because you're trying to keep up.
Would that be one of the things you would add? So let's just say tomorrow the market was just as good as it was in 2019, 2020. You pulled yourself out of the business from day to day. You hired that one person. What does that day look like for you for the future of captured listings?
That's a great question. So I think I would probably do a lot of the video editing.
Yeah.
Bring
that more back
Part
in.
of the day would be just video editing from the office and in the studio, and then I really wanted to make a course on real estate photography and sell a course.
That would be cool.
That takes a lot of work to record and film
Sure.
and create that, but that's definitely something I'm interested in.
Yeah. That's interesting. I didn't think you'd go that route. I wasn't.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen it done before, and I think I have a few things I could bring to the table.
Did you see it more on the West Coast of like
Canada? There's one in Canada that I really liked.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. No, I didn't take any courses myself. I really had to learn the job. And
yeah. Well, that's interesting. That's why I thought that as soon as my head was like, I've never seen one of them courses.
Right.
I've seen a lot of courses. There are a lot of courses for some shit. You know
There's
what I mean?
a course
Like,
for everything.
I'd never seen one of that one.
Yeah, it's so big now because everyone has a phone, everyone has a camera,
Totally.
everyone wants to be a photographer.
Totally.
So
that was gonna be that was also a thought in my head too. Is like I've always seen people that want to do portrait-driven, that can do portrait-driven photography, and then they come over to do real estate. They just don't understand it. They don't understand the angles.
You're
they
right.
don't understand how to look at certain things, a certain perspective. But they do well, like you said, with people.
I hate weddings.
Yeah,
it's terrible. It was terrible. I did 2 starting out before real estate photography. Didn't like it, and as soon as I did that first house, I knew that's what
it made more sense.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice too with like even like you said. I mean, we kind of take that similar path with new construction. There's no client there all the time. Okay. Now we deal very hands-on with our clients because they're there typically a lot, but like we're not there. They're not there every day while we're working like remodeling.
Right.
Where it's like, all right. How are you going to be today?
Oh, even if someone's standing behind me while I'm taking pictures, it's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, sure.
Like, what are you doing?
It kind of changes the vibe.
Yeah,
yeah.
it does.
I'm trying to think here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, you're focusing. Sometimes we're in and out of a house so fast, but that's just through experience. We know going in what angles we need, the lighting, the settings on the camera. It can be really quick. So people are like, oh, wow, that was fast. And I never want to feel like I didn't do the right job. Yeah. It's just because we know what we're doing.
Sure, you've been doing this long.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always like it comes back to that perspective where people are like, oh, you bid me $1,000, but you're done in an hour. Well, you didn't pay me for you paid me for my expertise.
It's the last 10 years of.
Yeah, you paid me for my expertise.
100%.
Yeah, the quality that I put into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of always been the thing. And I've seen your evolution of it too, because, the pictures, we talked about this the one time. I think I sent you something. And it was like, you're like, man, look how shitty these things are from like 100%. Back in the very first ones.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, man. I mean, it's kind of cool to see your stuff too.
That's cool.
Because I'm sure like you don't see a lot of your past work anymore. Like when it's gone, it's gone.
You're right.
Like when it's on Zillow.
It's on my hard drive.
Yeah, you never look at it again, know, but you see it whenever, one of the agents posted or this or that or myself or this or that. And, once that thing's kind of gone, it's gone.
Yeah, I mean,
the cool thing is, though, we redo all of ours again and shit. We use ours all the time, so you see our shit all the time.
Chop it up and reuse. Yeah, you should
trademark our photos, though.
Yeah. No, we like to put watermarks on the best videos that are going to go.
Because we redo ours all the time. Even Taylor will use stuff from 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
And still just throw back something.
Yeah, and it's different for every client. A lot of people want their brand and not ours.
Brand sharing.
Yeah.
Brand sharing
That's
is what
great.
it should be.
That's a great culture.
It should be. Brand sharing should be like it's so fucking weird because like everybody like wants to try and outshine everybody. And I think the perspective's fucked up in like the sense of like business in construction in real estate. Like everybody wants to try and fuck everybody and be the shining light. And it's like, listen, if we all just like genuinely understood that we need one another for referral base or this or that, or hey man, like again, you've done things for us outside of houses. You did Monmania, I think, once or twice. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like there's different areas, and I've referred people to you, and it's all the same stuff. Like, hey, we're a network that all congruently flows together here. We don't need to go behind each other. I'm like, hey, what's she doing over there? She's acting very unethical.
Yeah, it's just like, crazy,
what? Like, why?
And we've referred people to Hemlock for sure. It's just how this works.
It's how the whole business works, and for a very long time, the same as you, like we just had a social following. Like it wasn't no paid ads. There was none of this until the team grew big enough. I'm like, okay, I got to get some more business in here. So, we held off of that as long as humanly possible, but it's the same thing of, how do you get to building that brand and we build it on referral.
You guys probably don't really have a slow season, right?
This year.
Okay. But it's not seasonal.
No, not really. I mean, for us, it's, school shit, stuff like that is all kind of a factor. But like, we're kind of the way we are the whole year.
Okay.
Because people plan prep and they know this is a longer process. So they'll usually reach out to us a little bit early. Okay. Like, we don't really get people that are like, hey, we're ready to go tomorrow. It's
Right.
more like, hey, we're ready, but like, okay, how long's your process? We're just reaching out to you now because, hey, we want to maybe move in or be in the house June of next year. Great, let's do it. Now's the time to start, because by the time we get through design, we get through structurals, we get through this, we get through permits, we get through all this stuff. Oh, you'll be in your house next year, but you need to think a year ahead.
Yeah. Your workload's never light. But
I'm going to tell you the fun. It's like, you want to talk about like a consumer based, like just hands-on service business is ours. Like, it is intimate, it's expensive. There's a lot of emotion. And, you know, we had a guy recently, you just filmed the house that went out in Claysville, and you got to be very careful what you say to people. You know, and this is a thing we're learning on frameworking conversations for our salespeople, because they heard the word 6 months and they moved in 7 and they were extremely not happy. Extremely not happy.
these things aren't fixed time frames.
Because they heard the word 6 months, you know, and we're very diligent about like how we maneuver that conversation, right? Because people come to us, they're like, well, how long is this whole thing? How long does this take? Like, we don't know. Like, is it a year? Is it 2 years?
Question.
Is it 7 months? It's
Right.
it's other than the price. It's the number one price. Yeah, no doubt.
Price and time.
And you got to be very careful on how you handle that, because what people hear as a consumer was what they hold you to.
Right.
So guy was very upset. There was some things, you know, and we built through a very tough winter. Like, this winter was tough, you know, and again, I feel 7 months in on a house like that is still a good timeline. I emailed them, apologized, and said, hey man, like, sorry that we didn't meet your expectations. Then the funny thing is we're building for another guy in Washington. You'll be doing this one soon. And he's a little upset because we're building too fast.
Too fast. You cannot please everyone.
It's impossible, and you know, there's it bothers me though, just like it does you.
It really
like when
does.
somebody's not thoroughly happy, it bothers me.
Yeah.
You know, it genuinely does. You know,
You got to have thick skin, but it's still, you know, you're trying to do every job perfect.
Yeah, and we understand the emotion behind it, because this is an expensive product. This is an expensive transaction. Like, you've been waiting for this for a very long time. You've sacrificed your time, energy, effort. Like, I don't ever lose sight of that. And when you're not thoroughly happy about something, it does. It hurts. And it hurts our team, because they're very hands-on, and like our PMs are like, listen, man, we've been dealing with this for 6 months. We fight every obstacle, this, that, you know, just like you had. I mean, we had we got to do something, and the weather's not cooperating on flying drones. We got to reschedule.
Yeah.
You know, it was funny. We were doing that one on Han, and she messaged me. She's like, tell him I apologize. She's like, I was showing the cater or something, and I seen the drone. I'm sorry.
That's funny. Yeah. No, it got sunny that morning. I was really nervous about that one, but it worked out.
Yeah. It's always like, you know, and we've had a very wet spring this year. Like,
yeah. It hasn't stopped raining.
not at all, which has put us behind on a lot of our final landscaping, our final grade, our final rough stuff. And people were just anxious.
So
like,
here's your timeline for building a house, but
yeah, it's just like,
there's
it's all
weather.
circumstantial. It's very hard. And, you know, you don't want to like scare people away by saying like, oh, there's all these things that could happen or this or that. I mean, we touch on it, but like, I mean, we are having a very tough time this year with this dirt and getting it moved and spread and getting landscaping done and this and that. I mean, we were just talking today. I was like, it's supposed to rain. We got thunderstorms coming in now. Then we have thunderstorms tomorrow. And then we have pretty good weather. And then Saturday's coming, and they're talking about 10 days of straight rain.
Unbelievable.
Saturday to Saturday of...
Now, here's a good point. We do drone photography with every real estate listing included for free because of weather and regulations that are unpredictable. So if we can't do it, if we can't do 10 days of houses drone because of rain, I'm never going to be able to go back to all those houses to get all those drone shots, because the next 10 days after are already booked with other houses. So weather compiles the work. So so drone is technically included.
With your real estate agents.
With real estate agents.
Because I always ask for it both.
You'll always get drone. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So now I know.
If you hire us for a video tour, part of that is in the sky.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that was kind of what I was getting at, is like we're going to put a process together for that too, of somebody else in our team to alert Chloe of how to get a little bit more ahead of this. Because like, I don't leave the office. Like, I don't go to any of the jobs. So, like, when I get to see the jobs is when I see your job.
That's funny.
Like,
yeah.
that's like,
Yeah. You're never curious? Like,
not anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I'll get out to a few, and, you know, I went out to Todd's, obviously, because I was the person that sold that
That's
one.
an impressive
So it was,
house.
yeah.
Really?
And then I went to the one you did in Claysville, and then I went to the one we're doing out in Monroeville. But other than that, dude, I don't really see him. You know,
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's kind of where I'd like to get with our company too. But I don't want to rush it and make mistakes. But
no, you guys see, the thing about you is like it's ultra competitive in the sense of like content creation. Like content creation's like such a hype thing, and it's such a big like monetization point now that like you need to be very. And honestly, I think it's good that you're in a niche market. Because now, like, media performers and all this other shit, like, there's so fucking many of them.
Yeah.
So many of them.
Yeah.
That are just like,
it's saturated.
like, it's.
And it's amazing. There's so many photographers in Pittsburgh alone.
Well, like you said, everyone has a camera.
But everyone, you know, we're still.
Every part-time mom's like, I'm a photographer now.
Everyone, yeah. Just like for a while, everyone wanted to be a real estate agent. Like, it's easy, but it's not. You know, it's a full-time job.
Shit's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not. It's not a easy game, no matter how you kind of battle this, you know. And what do you see? Do you see any? So obviously, you watch a lot of other people's stuff, like Texas, California. All of them are way ahead of the game as far as like the videography side of it. Miami, like all that type of stuff, the luxury branding. Do you see any of that looking to make a shift here to Pittsburgh? Because we're an old town, man.
Yeah, we are, but we've come a long way. In the last 8 years, it went from no one using Instagram at all, I feel like, for real estate, to now it's pretty common with our clients, at least. The struggle is always getting them to use our content the way they can best for their companies. So we can make the video, but if they don't know how to use it, that's a whole nother issue.
Can you go a little bit deeper into that? What does that mean?
So we'll make a social media video perfect for a real estate listing for Instagram. Yeah. And they say, well, how do I put this on the MLS? The only other agents are looking, right? So that's one hurdle to overcome with people is this is meant for Instagram. This is for your buyers, not other agents to watch.
This is for your marketing material.
Yeah. And then so
this is to attract new people to want to use you.
You know, just teaching people how to post it correctly. That's a big part of the content. So we can make all the videos and photos, but they need to know how to use it.
What age demographic is asking you that?
I would say over 40.
Over 40. Mm-hmm. And now are you seeing a lot of the over 40 people looking to make that move?
They do. They are already getting the videos, but they might end up not using them, which I feel bad for. You know, you could go viral on these, and a lot of people have, and they go, I can't believe how many views my video got. And it's the simplest video, really.
Do you have a video you know of that got the most views?
One of ours a couple years ago got like 3 million. And it made no sense. It was 7 seconds long. And it was a front shot of a house. So it's the algorithm, the music, the hashtags at that time. And it's changed now. Yeah. Instagram's wanting more photos only again, which was the original Instagram. Yeah. Then it went to Reels, and now they're pushing photos again.
Interesting. Because they stopped limiting you on photos too.
Yeah.
So, which was kind of the weird thing that it's obviously shifted too when Meta bought it. Mm-hmm. You know, Meta bought it. It kind of took more of that Facebook approach, and it kind of have now the kind of linear platform where they're not necessarily competing.
Like just merge it.
Yeah, because they're not necessarily competing against each other, but it looks very similar now.
Right.
You know, and the interesting thing was I was watching a video of, Gary Vee the other day, and he was basically talking about that too, of like, it doesn't matter about followers anymore. Like, they're probably going to eliminate this year the follower count. Mm-hmm. Like,
I didn't hear that before.
Yeah, like he said that. He's like, so they're probably going to eliminate the follower count because it's starting to create this self-consciousness inside of like kids and people that they don't have these big followings. Have that, and it's doing a lot of that. And honestly, the algorithm, he's like, it just takes it wherever it needs to go.
Yeah, you don't have to already have 1 million followers.
Exactly. Which kind of sucks because I, tried really hard to build a following over the last fucking 6 years. And I know a lot of people that paid for a following over the last 6 years, like paid a lot of money. Yeah. Whether it's bots or just bullshit or just, to get to 1 million followers or just to get your stuff out there.
Yeah. And our captured listings Instagram has struggled forever to grow. And I have other Instagram accounts I run that just took off.
It's crazy.
And I'm not doing anything different.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it's being blocked.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it, but
Yeah, I get that too.
But it doesn't matter, we're still busy, and I don't
You're
think
getting throttled.
I don't think our clients are there. That's
Yeah.
not where we need to find them anyway, so to speak.
You're still Facebook.
Facebook and word of mouth has just been
Sure.
crazy in Pittsburgh.
Well, it's your number one.
It's the town.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, the conversion rate on word of mouth.
It's crazy, and that's not really a way to scale your company, but that's how
It's a way to
we
scale
grew.
your company in the very beginning. Yeah, it's good to create stability, because what that does is on your end, because like I don't want to compare it to a subscription business, but it kind of is, right? So like it's because we use it. It's a repeated thing.
Repeat,
like
retention.
My people don't necessarily need me again.
Right.
They'll
refer their family and friends, but
yeah, like our ultimate goal was always to kind of try and do the, hey, let's build your first house or your second and third house. Let's go that route, because that's what NVR tried to do with Heartland when they bought it. It was, hey, we got your beginner house, but we'll take your next house too, the luxury model.
Right.
And that was, that was a cool approach that I don't think they utilize as well, but that was always our thing. Like, hey, let's build your second and third house as well. But
when COVID hit, it was, well, nobody needs to move, right? But someone always has to move. There's always a reason.
Now, even with 7% interest rates.
Yeah, which isn't that high. It's
not what our parents bought.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's always a need to move.
Sure.
And you always need photos and video to kind of market that.
Yeah. Are you going to start to adjust anything differently with your approach here coming with either the newer style, like how they're doing in Miami? Are you going to kind of offer those types of things? Like,
I think so.
They do some wild shit.
They do.
Miami.
And one thing is trying to figure out how to keep it affordable, because a lot of those things are very expensive.
I bet.
And people don't think about that until they go to hire you for it.
Yeah.
So, and for a $300,000 house, no one's going to spend $100 or $1,000 to $2,000 on that video.
Yeah, no doubt. It was weird because I was talking to an agent who, and I'm sure we all know each other, but who, again, that became the thing. They get the Florida license.
Yeah.
They went down there and they were like, dude, like, I do content, but not content like that. Like,
oh, right.
That's a different kind of content.
It's a different content.
Right. Yeah. But I agree with you. It is very price point driven, because you're down there trying to sell $20, $30 million houses. You're out in California trying to sell, a fucking dog house is $1 million.
Yeah, no, it would be a great way for an agent to move to one of those cities and start with banger content, right?
Yeah.
You want the best stuff to show. So it'd be worth spending that.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be fun. I mean, we're willing to travel. We haven't really ever had that request. But
no doubt.
I would never say no to that.
Yeah, well, I'll take me anywhere.
Take
me anywhere it's warm right now.
Building a house somewhere really far probably wouldn't be your thing. But
yeah, we have brand expansion. It's a question that gets brought up all the time for us too.
Oh, really?
It's like, what are you going to do? Do you want to go into new territories? Do you want to do new markets? And like, I think for me, like, I always say no, just because like I'm trying to not get unfocused.
Yeah.
So what we are doing now is we are going to get our license in Deep Creek. We are going to take the step down to Deep Creek. We'll probably, and again, because it's not too far, like it's an hour and a half. It's not 6 hours.
Okay.
It's not in, you know what I mean? There's a luxury market there that there is enough margin in those builds. I can make a few mistakes and be okay.
Yeah.
I'm not like, the thing about like building is everybody thinks like you make fuck you money. And like you can on scale, and that's why we are doing scale. Because again, my break even in the company is like $2 million a year. Like, so you have to do scale now. And for us, it's like, well, cool. So if there's margin in these, we can make a couple mistakes, understand what we're doing in another different area, and then just keep refining it, but not go broke.
No,
because the $500,000 builds, I'll be honest, it's not, people don't want to like put their nose up to it, but you don't make a ton of money because you got to remember, like I get paid when work gets completed. So like I get paid once a month, like do a foundation, get paid, frame a house, get paid, rough in a house, get paid. But like I got to have, a lot of those going. I need more than one paycheck a month.
Yeah, scale is the answer.
For us, for sure. And, the $500,000 ones are more cash flow builds. And the $1 million, that's why a lot of, that's why you don't see as many people in the lower end market. Now they do, but there's more predominant builders in the luxury market.
So in the lower end market, they're doing a whole plan, right? You're
doing it in scale.
Yeah,
you're doing it in scale, but you're also getting the mortgage, the title, the insurance off of all those people, and then you sell it off. So they made money on that person 4 times.
Wow.
I only make money off you once.
Wow.
So that's why I got to charge what I got to charge. And there's a lot more difference between our builds and their builds. But yeah, it's the business model of people go into that luxury market because there's much more of a margin, which is fine. But you're going to earn that margin. The client's usually a lot tougher. The detail in the house is a lot tougher.
Yeah.
The construction's a lot harder.
Everything's meticulous.
Yeah, it's just like, that person's spending a lot more money, so the expectation's extremely high. As it should be, so that's
that's what I've enjoyed about, the luxury homes and the $50,000 reno, because both have their positives and negatives. One luxury house could take all day, and then I'm exhausted after that, But I could do 4 small houses in one day and be just fine with that. But I'm always thinking like I want to do the luxury one, right? And then you do that. And no, I want to do the
because if I were to, and this is just me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I would imagine you probably make more money doing 4 small ones a day.
Potentially, you could, yeah. But the luxury ones come with photo, video, floor plan. They add on a bunch of other things. So,
That's cool.
There's a lot of add-ons with those. But if you could do 4 or 5 small ones, you're
again, what I was just trying to do is just get to understand how your business kind of works.
Yeah,
They're all kind of similar. But so let's talk about that. So what are some of the added things that get attached to $1 million house?
It's been funny to watch the phases that Pittsburgh went through, because West Coast,
educate me. I'm open to listen. This is awesome.
And I didn't know till a few years ago that everyone was doing floor plans in the country except for us. So then a couple of years ago, agents started asking, how do you do Matterport and 3D and floor plan blueprints of the listings? So we added that feature, and now agents are saying nobody even looked at them. We're not going to do them anymore. So it phased in and out already in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Do you think it's really true that nobody looks at the Matterports?
I don't know. The best use for that is a famous location. So someone did an Airbnb for the one of the horror movies, and we did the Matterport there, and so it got hundreds of thousands of views.
That was the Sisters.
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs house.
Yeah, so that's a great use for Matterport.
Yeah.
But not so much for, Zillow's taking over.
Yeah.
Zillow 3D Homes.
Yeah.
Which it disrupted the whole Howard Hanna industry here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an event to go through.
Yeah.
Everyone said we're going to get our own photographer at Howard Hanna. It'll be free. So we thought, oh my God, we're going to lose all our clients. It never happened,
because of shit.
And they're already
what do you think the reasoning behind that was? Why did you not lose anybody?
So the feedback was bad. So the photography was bad at the Howard Hanna or the Zillow showcase.
Yeah.
And the prices were still higher. So they just didn't really go with it.
Sure. What do you see? Do you see any of these other types of things coming after your industry? Whether it's like
AI?
Yeah. So
it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But right now there's nothing that would replace taking photos of the average person's house,
The actual photos.
The actual photos to list a home for sale.
Yeah. Do you think, and this is what I was thinking about this the other day, and do you think that it's going to get to a point of where some agents do create AI versions of them and they're not actually what the house is?
That would be scary. I can't imagine the MLS allowing anything. They're so strict.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But we'll see. Yeah.
Because you can almost do anything with the AI photography. You can make it look any way you want. You can make it so geared to where it's like the perfect inside to get somebody there.
Perfect,
it's just not the
and even as
house.
it is with no intention, cameras make houses look better than they are. So you add in the fact that you're faking the photos, that would be
and you're just like you're digitally altering them enough to not being the exact replica of that house. You're making it look better than it actually is.
Yeah, I like when, sometimes people are critical of room colors in the photos. But the camera automatically changes color. It interprets what it sees and then tells you what that is. And it's not going to be right. So people are like, well, you edited it. But really, I didn't, right? So there's Then we have to tweak the color to make it look how they want it, how they think their house
Now
looks.
is this a seller?
This would be a seller saying that's not the right wall color.
Interesting.
In my house. This would happen sometimes, and you know, seeing your house that you've lived in for 10 years in a photo is not going to look the same as what you think it does.
It's kind of funny.
So then we're not trying to insult them. We want them to be happy with the photos. Sure. But it's not even the seller that hired us.
No, it's the agent. Yeah.
So it can be tough. And the agent doesn't. They love our photos, right?
The agent now hears it, and then they're trying. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of the objections you guys come across and hear often? Are they just very sporadic? Are they just random?
It's really random. It's when you least expect it.
Not ones you hear all the time.
You'll come home from a house and you're like, they're not going to like the photos, and then they love them. So you really never know. But yeah, people can be really critical of colors. That's just the biggest thing.
It's wild.
Yeah, you never expect it.
Like, I don't know. To me,
someone buying the house might even just paint over it.
They're all going to fucking paint.
They don't care what color
matter.
It is. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you want them to like the way their house looks online. 100%. It's really important.
And they're emotional too because it's theirs.
Mm-hmm. And they're afraid. It's a scary time listing your house. You're afraid to do anything wrong that might hurt your listing.
I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of emotional things that happen during that. For sure, they have a lot going on. Yeah. They're trying to buy, they're trying to do this, trying to get pre-approved, trying to find this, they're trying to battle the market.
And I never expected that, but then it hit like the first year we were in business. Okay, there's a lot more to this job. The emotion and
fuck yeah,
yeah,
it sucks. Yeah,
people love them and hate them.
Oh boy, need them. Wish I didn't, but yeah, I over the years we've met some of the nicest people in the world. You know, I can count on 3 fingers probably clients that I just could do without forever. You know,
that's not bad at all.
No, I mean, if you count in all of our remodeling projects, all of our new construction houses, I mean, we're probably at I don't know, well into the 200s of projects completed. And I'll be honest, 99% of the people that I've met have just been amazing.
That's great.
Just amazing.
You can't get better than that, really.
No, and honestly, we built some long-lasting relationships, with some of our clients. I was on a call the other day with one, and it's funny that when things go full circle, so like this client, helped save our business at one point. And then now we just had the opportunity to help her new business, and we donated to her new cause to, it was a substantial amount of money.
That's really great.
Yeah. I mean, and she wrote us a giant check at the point, like during COVID, like saved our lives. Wow. So we were able to now reciprocate and donate a nice chunk of money to her to help her and do those things. And yeah, dude, it's just a very rewarding thing whenever, you were able to maintain those relationships for years on, and again, it's the same as, like I said to, a lot of people, even you, like there's an impact you have, man. Like you have an impact on how somebody's able to, show their house and sell their house.
It's their next chapter. It's a huge shift in their life. I don't know what brought this up to me, but one client we lost was because of our availability, right? She could never seem to have advance notice of even 5 days. And like, how do you not know you have a listing coming up just 5 days out? But for whatever reason, all of her clientele was, I'm ready to list now, when they would call her. Mm. So she was really sad to find someone else, right? But we didn't want to see her go, but we're like, I can't help you, right? Yeah. We're booking out. That's just kind of and we can't prioritize one client because if our schedule's full, we can't bump people. We're not bumping people off.
That's what I told the team today. I was like, hoping for a cancellation, ladies and gentlemen.
I know,
we're a cancellation.
That's all we can do, right?
But I mean, I think you have to understand that. I think a lot of people that own businesses and all this other stuff that, I was talking to a guy of mine that I bought our first property in Florida that we've been Airbnb in, and this is the first for me.
Oh, cool.
And again, relationships, right? So my agent down there connected me with a guy who helps take care of my place and does all this other stuff for me. I mean, dude's been a fucking lifesaver.
Nice.
Like lifesaver. So he messaged me last week and he's like, hey man, my shit's been blowing up and like, I got to raise my rates a little bit and I still want to prioritize you and blah, 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 blah. And yeah, I think he was very hesitant to want to ask me that or like very hesitant to have this conversation with me, as most people are when they're like newer in business. Right. They're afraid to ask for more money. And I looked at him and I said, listen, dude, I was like, you've made my transition from Pittsburgh to Florida with getting a boat down here and all this other stuff and all these things I have going on and and the turnovers of the house and all the extra stuff you do for me. I'm the kind of guy that doesn't remotely negotiate somebody's price increase if the value's there.
If it's there, perfect.
I was like, dude, your customer service has been unbelievable. Your communication, you answer all my questions, like, bro, like 100%.
That's fantastic.
I'm good, dude. Yeah. Because what am I going to do? So I look at it in the sense of, okay, what am I going to save $100? I go over this guy and I get fucked over,
right?
And I have a terrible experience.
Totally.
I can't go back to him.
Totally.
Like I already burned that relationship.
Yeah.
So I always, I'm a big proponent. And I've watched your prices go up. I've watched my prices go up. Listen, this is the reality of it. Mm-hmm. Again, like if I didn't feel that I'm getting the value of what we're paying for and also the relationship matters.
It does. That's really important. Man.
You know what I mean?
Like
you can go hire anybody if you want, but like, again, are you going to be taken care of?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not.
Yeah. And once you've been in business together for so long,
I know but that's what I'm saying. Like, I know what we're going to get. Mm-hmm. And then, now we're brainstorming on how do we make it better? How do we go to the next level with this? And, like I said, now when Taylor comes back tomorrow, it's just like, we want to film content. That's awesome. Because like you look in the building world, it's just not being done. Mm-hmm. It's not being done. And if we're going to be the new age of builders that's going to be around for the next 15, 20 years, then we need to get super serious about what it is right now, mm-hmm. And all the changes that are kind of happening.
It changes so fast.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
And it's crazy because I started like social media marketing, hardcore in like 2021.
Okay.
Where, I really started going hard on social. I posted consistently daily, multiple pieces of content I haven't missed a day since 2021. And now you're like, you fucking algorithm.
Yeah. It's like, what are you doing to me?
It's all good though, in the sense that I told like Taylor and the other people too though, when your videos start to blow up on Reels and all the other shit, it's mostly because people are on there talking shit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit
Look at the comments.
There's a lot of shit talking going on in the comments. And I don't give one fuck.
No.
You obviously can't afford the product. You obviously don't do this. But hey, man, I keep bumping it. Keep bumping the algorithm.
It helps you out, right?
Listen, because you're going to have people that chime in. I don't believe that.
I think controversial content is always going to get the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always like a funny thing because you never know what that white one in Bethel Park you did.
Right.
That was years ago.
Okay.
And we did that one on Highland years ago. We posted that last year. Shit went 100 plus.
Yeah. So weird.
Just people in there talking weird shit in the comments. And then we did that black one over in North Strabane by my office. We did that one a couple years ago. We posted that last year. That went over 100. And it was just like, again, people in there, just, I don't know about this. It's just like, fuck it. I don't know.
But it's so good that you're reusing content. That is one thing we try to teach.
Where do you pay for it?
Every agent can do that.
Yeah.
And they don't.
It's weird.
Just because a house is sold and in the past, reuse the video. Reuse constantly.
Yeah. Here's what I can offer you. This house sold in 3 days.
That's a good point.
25,000 over ask.
Well, that's a good ad, but you can use these forever, these videos.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's kind of weird that repurposing content isn't a thing.
Right, and it should be. Like you guys do it, which is great.
We do it a lot, and that's why we said I would water tag them. I'm all about brand sharing. It doesn't benefit me any or it doesn't benefit me at all to be like, I can't give you my photography.
Yeah, no, and that's a huge part of the next phase to kind of scale up.
Like even your reels, like whenever you like put an ending to it with your shit in it, you know?
Yeah, and we do sometimes, but I don't want to get until we have that extra photographer or two more photographers. You don't want to bring in all this business that you can't take on, right? I don't want to turn everyone away. So, but I will time that, you know.
It's hard, dude.
It's
because
hard to
listen,
time
I'm going to be, as a business owner, we set up this year for the scale, and the scale's not happening. We're not like we had a year where shit fell out of sync, not in sync. So like we have usually a couple things that'll fall in line every year and it'll help us out. And it's been a year of things falling out, people getting sick, builds canceling for this or yada, yada, yada.
Okay.
Or just, think they're going to save money 2 years from now. It's not the case.
No.
Or whatever, and it's just one of those things where we prepped our company for a scale and we hired on a bunch of people and the business just didn't really come. We'll probably do the same amount as what we did last year, but I have, 4 or 5, my payroll is probably significantly higher.
Yeah.
So it's
and then you'll have to see next year.
So like I always ask people, I challenge people, like, when is a good time to hire that person? Like, you don't know. Like, it's very hard to time that perfectly.
Right.
We're like, I got all this business and I got to hire somebody. Or, wait, I'm going to scale now. And then I hire all these people. Like, then the scale doesn't happen.
That's the plan, is to hit it all together. So more marketing, the watermarks, word of mouth, grow it at the same time. But you can't plan that.
Yeah.
You have to try to plan it. But it might not.
Yeah, I mean, you can always set like an expectation of like what you're hoping this year will be. And I mean, that's like what a 3, 5 year, 10-year goal is like, all right, well, I hope this is going to go that route. But I mean, again, that's why I was asking you, like, your clarity on where you see the company going. Because you only do real estate, correct? Like you don't do any other stuff really outside of,
Right, it's real estate.
Some of the weird shit we ask you to do every now and again.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I like anything kind of related to it is perfect. Drones, video, I'll do it.
Because that gives you the sense of, all right, well, this is our business, and this is how we do. I don't know. Let's just say we do 35 clients a month. What do we need to get to add that other photographer? Is it 45? Is it 50? Okay, well, how do I get to 50? How many more people do I have to contact? Do this, do that.
And every agent has, maybe they do 5 a year.
Yeah.
Or some people do 5 a month.
Sure. No doubt.
You just never know.
I'm a 5-year guy. Maybe.
Yeah, 5 a year. Yeah,
I'm a 5-year guy. I had my best year last year. This year is fucking terrible. I am not doing well.
What's funny is when you schedule a house, sometimes we don't know, is this a listing or is this a hemlock?
Oh, yeah, so, for sure.
So, well, you always tell us if there's going to be someone there, but I'm just saying
because our garage codes never change. Yeah.
Yeah, I won't tell anyone what that is.
Yeah, don't do that. But no, it's been cool, man, because you've been one of the few people that we've all kind of grown together. Like, I've kind of watched your stuff, you watched our stuff, and it's been a cool conglomerate of seeing the different ways we can all align now in these new markets and these new eras of marketing and these new technologies and all this different stuff, and the drones and the videos to reels to clips to this to that to, it's been cool, and it's one of those things where, again, I see that a lot of realtors could do it the way we're doing it, but like you said, they just refuse to do it.
Yeah, and that's whenever, at least if they've hired us and we've filmed a video for them, I take the time to make sure they know how to use it, because you just have to, that's part of it.
Because it's funny now, because all they really have to do is align the two worlds. If they would align ChatGPT to write the content, so like they could write like when you go into the agent room or you go into the listing report, it's like 150 words. That's who writes mine.
Right.
Like I'm not creative. Like Taylor, the thing about Taylor that's very interesting, and I'll give all props to her, is she just started getting into ChatGPT a little bit. But she's all still freeform. Everything she posts on our social sites every day is all her words. Her wordplay, her this, her that's that, awesome. Which is, she really took a lot of pride in that. And I didn't downplay it, but I was always that way too, because I like long form posting. Mm-hmm. Like, I think long form posting is interesting, But she does all her own words, all her own wordplay, and I was like, damn, you are way better than me.
That's
are just
amazing.
Way better than me in the sense of how your words come out and how you do all that. And she'll do a little bit of more chat GBT stuff. It's more to just understand answers. Like not necessarily, hey, write this for me. It's more like, hey, I got a question about this. What about that?
That's amazing.
And then it'll refine that.
Yeah, especially for agents, writing that description can be a big,
for sure,
a big problem.
Because the people usually that get flagged on the descriptions is because they put their own perspective on it, and you can't do that in real estate. Like you can't use certain words. You can't.
I see it all the time. It's crazy.
It's nuts.
I don't know if Zillow allows it, but the MLS doesn't. But I still see some.
Oh, Zillow will allow whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck. You know, the MLS does not.
Yeah,
they got a real bugaboo about using certain terminology and things of that nature. But I mean, it's for an instances. Have you guys thought about evolving in the sense of even how you schedule stuff, like a Calendly link or some of that?
Sure.
Type of
yeah.
stuff,
Well, it's so interesting with scheduling. You know, you could do a whole podcast with Chloe.
Yeah.
Because it is a wild side of the business that I could never take care of. I'm out in the field doing photos. I can't answer a text.
Yeah.
And people still try to schedule with me sometimes. And I just shoot them right over to Chloe. Because
I knew it got to a point of where I was like, all right, she's the one.
She's the one. And if I do try to schedule something, it's a nightmare because she knows 3 other people that are...
probably because you fucked up something she had.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That has happened. But no, if there's 3 other people trying to work out a date and time, she knows all this. But in a calendar, it's either on there or not. Yeah. So we've looked at software, but with some of the situations she deals with, there's no way to replace that.
Yeah.
And
what are some of the situations? Just she would know.
Sure, yeah. I think
I'm sure I'll have her on here at some point because I would love to talk about that. Scheduling's a very difficult thing.
That would be a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, waiting to hear back from people for a time because we're texting the agent, then they're texting the seller, and then it's back to us. So she knows what, and with the text messages pinned to the top and everything, it's crazy. But if you just had a calendar sitting on your website that people could choose from, I don't know if we would even fill each day because there'd be so many people that are on and off because they put a time just to book it
back,
and then
do this,
tomorrow
do that. Oh, this person moved.
So if someone looks at it at this instant, there's nothing there, or there is something there, and then they hire someone else, and then that person removed theirs right after, and they could have been on there.
Yeah, because in theory, right in my head, I'm like, okay, well, if you had 3 photographers, they can choose from the person that they want to film with, their date, their time, their this, their that. But I get it. I mean, I don't ever think about it. So like, if I said it, I forget it. Like, you'll tell me if the weather's no good.
Okay.
Like, I'm never gonna message Chloe like, Chloe, the sun's not out. I don't know. I don't want this done today. I'm like,
don't do that. She'll be mad because. Yeah, because
I've had to move shit and I've had to pay late fees. I mean, there ain't no fucking doubt.
Two things, another side to the schedule, like a calendar online not working out, is the travel time between shoots. And you can there's really advanced scheduling software. We've looked at it, but it still doesn't work out in reality.
Totally.
Okay. So
totally. You're off by,
travel time is so huge with this
accident here, there, whatever. I'll tell you the worst fucking thing I've had scheduling wise is when I was a real estate agent doing shit for flippers.
Okay.
They have zero idea of how to finish a fucking house.
Oh, that's
zero. I'm sorry, flippers. I love you guys, but like you guys have no idea how to finish a fucking house.
It's true. It's just how they are, I guess.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, there's shit everywhere. It's all in the garage. Oh my God, I was supposed to get that. I'm like, well,
you didn't. And it's like, what happened?
Supposed to do here?
It's crazy. Yeah.
I'm like, dude, there's shit all in the house, not even cleaned.
I know.
I've done it a couple times with Chloe with doing listings with flippers. I'm like, all right, this isn't ready, and I didn't find out until the day before.
It's been years since any of that happened.
Yeah.
But
it's interesting whenever you're trying to align those two worlds because like I said, I've just had a hard time recently because we've had closings happen so fast.
Okay.
And then guys had to get in, and I'm like, whoa, tell them even the one you didn't close with, I was like, tell them Saturday.
Yeah, perfect.
Saturday.
Yeah, and then I think I was delayed getting there, so then they showed up to drop off flowers. I'm like, hey, sorry. Yeah. But it's all good.
And it was funny that, she told me something the other day of something I didn't even think about. She was like, can you let the homeowner give a heads up? Because some of the last ones were a little bit snippy about.
Yeah. You would never expect that.
Never.
Never.
But we've had some high tension moments here in the last few.
Yeah.
And it was, Yeah.
Yeah, when we've showed up just to do outside photos, but they're working in their driveway on something.
Yeah.
So then they're mad that they got to move, and it's like,
I never thought about that.
that's weird, right? But
yeah, but I get it. You know what I mean? Like, it's all about, again, respecting that person's time, energy, and effort. I understand that. But when she said that, I was like, oh my God, I never thought
oh yeah, no, it's
That's why I'm always like, that's why I want these fucking things done.
Yeah.
Because, the winter ones that don't get done, right, in November, then we come back in
God.
March or April to get the outside. Like, they're already living there. They're
living there,
Their lives are full go there.
And you're
I'm
just
like,
landscaping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a big thing.
And then as soon as it's February, they're like, when's the landscaper coming?
Oh, February.
I'm like, I don't know, or March. And I'll be like, I don't know. It's pouring down rain. I can't get anybody to do anything right now.
Yeah, and being in Pittsburgh, weather is so bad all the time.
All the time.
So if we have a whole 14 days out scheduled, every day is full, and the third day in that 14 is going to be rain, we can't move someone one day up because that day is full.
Yeah.
So do you want to postpone your listing 2 weeks?
What do you do?
So what we do, and we thought it was really smart, was to still do the inside. That's the hardest part of a house going on the market. They've got the house. Everything's hidden in closets in the garage, and it's ready for photos, right? So let's do the inside regardless of the weather.
Yeah.
And then we'll just come back for free to do the outside. And we still have people that don't like that idea. But it's us going back to get it. And, with the outside, they don't have to move anything or they don't even have to be there.
Just get like one shot for maybe the front.
Get a shot for that, if you want to list it before we get back. But so with weather, that's what we
or
say.
It might just delay them a couple days on their listing, I guess, maybe until you can get back.
Worst
and do the
case
shots
scenario.
Outside. Yeah.
Right, worst case, because it's a lot easier for us to go shoot an exterior in 15 minutes.
100%, because people actually have to really prep for the inside.
And the inside takes at least an hour to film and photograph.
Yeah,
so
no doubt.
That's harder for us to fit in a couple days from now than just
that was kind of our always attitude on them, is like, just get the inside. We'll come back and get the outside another time. And then I found out the outsides are a problem. I'm like, holy shit.
Oh,
so
no.
Now we have a whole process.
Did she yell at you? What happened?
No. It was, I didn't realize that our clients were doing that.
Okay.
Not her at all. It was more just, I was kind of more taken back by like our people were kind of getting, I know which ones they probably were.
Probably, right.
But it was just a unique thing of like a problem you don't ever think about, right?
Do they ever give you trouble with when you go to do landscaping? That they're like, why are you?
Nonstop.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, all the time.
Okay.
I have problems with everything.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like for us, it's just a nonstop problem. Yeah, it's whether, I mean, what I tell people is like, it's again like, then why are the younger people not becoming builders, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, why are the younger people not becoming fucking real estate agents? Because, dude, this is extremely hard. Extremely hard.
So they don't want to put in that work? Is that what you're kind of thinking?
Yeah, it's just a ton, man. Like, it's a ton of work, and like,
they'd rather stream a video game
or that, right? You know what I mean? And that's what I always tell people, like, there's always this big argument now of like, oh, kids don't want to work. I'm like, that's not true. I'm like, kids will work. It's just they're not going to work for $14 an hour. Like, I don't fucking blame them. But back whenever, I'm 38 years old. When I graduated in 2005, the decision was college or trades. That's it.
Yep, that's it.
You ain't got no fucking OnlyFans. You ain't got no fucking Feet Finder. You ain't got no streaming. You don't have none of that shit. No. You have no influencer. You have none of that shit. That's not a thing.
Right.
So now you can make money in 55 million fucking ways.
Yeah.
And people are doing that.
Yeah. But you and I don't want to do that either.
Because we don't understand it.
No.
And I don't want to understand it. So
right.
now we feel like our parents.
Right.
So we're like, streaming.
Streaming, yeah.
I try so hard to figure it out.
But you literally build people's dream homes, and they're sitting there streaming.
I find it interesting. I do.
It is.
I've tried to look at it in the sense of like, okay, how are you actually making money? Now, I get it. Like, dude, some of these dudes are doing like Super Bowl numbers. Like, they're doing like 500,000 people on a stream for like hours at a time. Like, what in the fuck are you watching?
I know. They're not working. They're just watching people, right?
And I'm like, I don't understand how this is monetized still.
Are there ads?
I don't know.
I don't know. We don't watch it.
Yeah, I don't watch it.
I don't have time to watch it.
No, either. I do like the clips, though, I see on like, I do get sucked into reels.
Okay.
Hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
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 I'll do like a brain dump in the evening, and then the problem with it though is it like runs my anxiety up, and then I can't
it's worse.
sleep.
Okay, so it doesn't help you.
Doesn't help.
Sometimes
shit.
it's relaxing.
I like it, but it's like my form of TV. But
yeah,
it's just the constant. I flip through so much shit. My brain's like trying to process it, and I'm I'm like laying there. I'm like,
it's like, but why aren't any of my videos getting out to people like that?
Yeah, why are
they
not?
Right.
I do ask myself that a lot too. I'm
algorithm.
like, how does this dude have 38,000 shares and I have 27 likes?
And maybe it's even the same content, the same exact type of video, and it's just not.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's different.
But again, for us, it's just to keep trying at it, keep rolling at it, and, keep looking at okay, well, the marketing side has shifted to this way, so let's try that way. I think the big piece that's missing in new construction is education.
Okay.
I think that's the next platform for us, meaning what content are we filming? Okay, because I get it. When you put something on Facebook, if it's your kids or house, you'll get a bunch of likes. When I put out real fucking game of how to do business shit, it's 5.
Nothing, right?
It's 5.
100%.
And I'm like, this shit will make you fuck you money that I just said right here. I've done it. It'll make you a lot of money, and it's just 5. But if I put up something of my kids, hundreds. You put up something of the houses, ton. You know what I mean? It's just so for us, it's all right, anyone can go out and film and edit and make a house look really, really good. And that's cool. But now how do we take the fact and educate the consumer on their decisions? Okay, because all we're really doing still is solving a problem for them. Hey, my house is too small. Hey, I don't like my neighbor. Hey, I'm tired of an HOA. Hey, I want to move to a better school. I want to do this. That is all a problem that we have to solve.
Are a lot of your clients they want their own property? So they want
their own
space.
privacy.
They're not in a plan.
So our client avatar is 50 plus, or I would say 40 plus.
Okay.
And they're heading towards that last actual shift of their life. We do a lot of ranches. You've seen a lot of those over the last 2 years. We've done so many ranches of people downsizing from bigger houses into single floor living because Pittsburgh doesn't build anymore hardly.
No.
That's just the reality of it. And they want one floor living. We have a very low surplus of one floor living houses. So we fill that void.
Every new development is townhouses, I feel like.
I don't know how the fuck they're selling
understand
these things like crazy, but it's mind blowing to me. Miranda built those shitty ranches in Peters.
Yes.
And it's funny because that's one of the and then Ryan did a ranch plan over in TJ.
It's wild to watch.
And it's the only ones that have done a ranch community type style stuff. But we build a lot of single family, or I mean single floor living.
Single floor, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's just kind of, for us, has just been something that is, they're easier to do, and they're not easier to build. They're just more easier for somebody to transition into, because we'll battle things where people don't want a certain amount of stairs. They want this. They want to do, they're in some sort of medical assistance that they need ADA doors, or,
like you said, you're really solving problems, and posting a picture of the house is great, but you need to show people what the whole
we get a lot of, hey, why is your price $80,000 higher than Perry Homes, or why is it higher than Schumacher Homes? I'm like, well, because we offer a full package. They don't.
Oh, yeah.
They do allowances on their excavation. We do full excavation. We do all your permitting, your taps. We do your landscaping. We do your driveway. We do your sidewalk. We do your appliances. When you move into one of our houses, they are 100% done.
That's amazing.
Unless it's in winter, and then I got to do your landscaping in the spring.
Yeah.
But other than that, they're done, man. And it's just been a little bit of a shift for us because those are hurdles. Those are not necessarily objections, but they're more like obstructions of okay, this is what we need to get over when these people ask this question, right? Because just like hiring an agent or looking at buying a house on the market, it's okay, I got to go see everybody.
Yeah.
I need to go hire, let me set up 4 meetings with people to see okay, well, are they the perfect fit for us or not? You know, it's kind of, do you ever bid against other people that are like photographers?
It's honestly, I probably couldn't even remember one time actually.
I was gonna say.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's different.
Which is cool.
It's cool.
Which
yeah,
means your conversion rate's almost 100%.
Yeah.
Imagine fucking having a business like that.
Right. And that's, we're still a really small company. So that's kind of what
Yeah,
happens.
but it's enjoyable.
It is, yeah. You just have very few people that complain, and then that's all you focus on. But it really is nice looking back at the growth we've had. And
for sure.
I'm very, very thankful for that, and not having to do a lot of ads has been great because I can focus on
because you focus on the business. Yeah.
Focus.
What are some of the biggest hurdles you've had to kind of manage during growing the business?
I would say definitely, besides weather, which everyone deals with, I don't know, making sure that we're keeping up with the technology. When people came to us and said, we want to start doing Matterport, well, that camera's $4,000. Is it going to be worth adding that to the thing? Well, we looked at it, and with how many they estimated of doing a year, perfect, let's add the camera. So we got that, and then 2 years later, we sold the camera because nobody fucking did Matterport.
No doubt.
So keeping up with the technology changing in Pittsburgh, being behind the times would be kind of like, well, should I just move to Miami and start over? But that's so much harder. Like, I don't want to, we're established here. And that's been
that's been good, man. It's if those are, some of the challenges that you guys have had to do, and it's an obvious challenge. I mean, everything's moving so fast now.
Yeah.
And like you said, your own social stuff doesn't do as well as some of the social stuff that you manage.
Right. Which
so
is
do you
fine.
manage like what do you manage in the social side?
We really don't manage anyone's account as much as just show them exactly.
Show them how to use it.
Show them what to do.
Yeah.
And then once they get one or two done, they know what to do from there.
Yeah.
But I always check on our clients and see the views that our videos got.
Cool.
It's like I'll reshare one that went viral for them, but not for us because our algorithm's different for some reason.
Yeah. So how do you, in terms of adding that next photographer, like I said, do you have a plan of attack is it more just networking with other agents, or again, how do you get somebody that has somebody and get them to flip to you? Because that's going to be inevitably where you're going to have to get. That's going to
be where we're going.
Yeah, you're going to have to do market takeover at some point.
Right.
If you're going to want to get to a certain
I think
threshold.
so, but there is
because you got to remember, agents are going to fall off too.
Yeah, they do.
And the older ones are going to fall off.
Luckily not yet. I've been really surprised at that we haven't dropped
Bart
off
Baker,
too many.
we're still fucking killing it, dude.
Right.
In the game forever.
I know. Some of her reels do the best out of all of them.
Which is wild.
Yeah,
well, she does have some badass listings and stuff like that. But do you have a plan in place to go for a market takeover at all, or any sort of expansion wise?
Not really, but growing the team, yes, I do have a kind of a plan in mind, and I've really been careful not to over market until we have the team. So, like you said, watermarks, branding, growing all of that is. I feel like it's going to be a pretty quick switch, but maybe not. You never know.
Yeah,
but
you never know.
Once we have. Do you get the business first and then hire someone to add on, or it's really tough?
I always like to do that.
Maybe in a winter is a good time to take off your marketing.
Well, that would be a time to look at it.
When
you're a little bit slower. So that's the way I would break it down. Is if I were you, I would look at my business by season.
Which we do, yeah.
Yeah, so I would say my revenue in spring is this, my revenue in summer is this, my revenue in fall is this, my revenue in winter is this. Okay, well, how do we supplement fall and winter to be able to
balance?
Or do I have to go super fucking hard in the spring and summer that I can carry the overhead of fall and winter?
Yeah, and all of our photographers have been 1099 though, so we're not evening out their pay. It would be. If there's nothing in winter, then they're out of a job. Yeah. And I don't want that.
And then they'll go elsewhere.
They'll either go elsewhere or just be mad.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
Yeah. Nobody likes that either.
Yeah.
Have you had to fire anybody?
No. But people dropped off because they, it was more work than they thought.
Sure. Like anything else.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that shit's going to be easy.
And for our team members, it's usually someone in their 20s, early 20s, and if it's too much work, then they go do something else.
That's a wild fucking statement. But it's true.
If there is work or if there's a job
dude, when
available,
I was in my 20s, even still, I don't know, man. I think it's the difference in trying how I raise my kids as well. My dad raised me to work. and that was it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of funny because it's come full circle. My dad retired, who did all of our landscaping. Now he works for us, and now it's like he does our permit and stuff like that. But like we were talking about it, he's like, dude, the kid would be out there 13 years old. I'd work him into the fucking dirt, dude.
Right.
Like, I was out there, like, because I got in trouble all the time as a kid. So, like, every time I got suspended, here comes free work.
Oh, my
Here
God.
comes fucking Bryan working for free. You know what I mean? And, like, that was the game for a long time as me as a kid. And then it became I worked there full time when I got out of high school. And then I wanted to figure out my shit. I worked with him. I worked with him all the way up until 2017 when I went and worked with Ryan Shalaba.
Wow, no way.
Yeah.
Wow.
I worked with him and did flipping for a long time, all the way up until I went and worked at Pittsburgh Home Buyers and Shalaba and them, which was that was when I finally quit and went and worked for them full time and jumped into real estate and construction full time.
That's awesome. Yeah, I wondered how you started that. You know.
Yeah, that was like, dude,
amazing.
it was like, again, we bought into a course and, you know, I was like, fuck, I slid my credit card on this. So
You
like,
used it. You
got to
used it.
pay it back. And then it just kind of evolved and I did a couple flips and then we did some more flips. And then, you know, I knew I was always good at sales and I'm like, okay, this like real estate thing, like is never probably going to take off unless I get into it full time. But how do I get into it full time? So then I went and got a job with them at Home Buyers of Pittsburgh, and it was great, man. I got to learn so much. You know, I was there for about 2 years or so, a little over, and it was an amazing experience.
That's
just
awesome.
to understand how business scales. I watch them grow. I give my flowers to them anytime that I really possibly can. I learned a ton about construction. I learned that I liked construction more than I actually like sales.
Right.
But yeah, it gave me clarity on like where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. And then again, relationships, man. Our first pre-sold house was Seb's, that was 2020.
Oh, 20.
Yeah, I think 2020 we did that one, and like right in the heart of COVID.
So you mean before then you would build and then list?
Yeah, it was specs.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so our other ones were specs. The ones
Okay.
you guys did in the very beginning were all spec houses.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we did 4 of those, the 2 in South Park and then the 2 in Moon. Those were all spec houses. And then we moved actually to the office across the street that is now the golf simulator right next to Martin's Auto Gallery. That was our first office right across the street from here.
Right.
Our first office was right in that room right there.
I remember that.
Yeah, so we were in there, and then we moved over there, and then, dude, it's been a hell of a journey.
That's
same thing.
Amazing.
And I greatly appreciate you for all the things you've done. You've been a massive help for us in regards to our marketing side of everything, dude. I cannot thank you enough for all the loyalty, all the love you've given us over the years. It truly means a lot, dude. And I'm glad we've been able to play a small part in your guys' success as well. And I look forward to the future and doing more projects together and, and creating more content for everybody to kind of see from here on out. But for those that don't know you and, where can people find your stuff?
Sure. Well, thank you again, honestly, for the last 6 to 8 years, the referrals, everything, the loyalty, and trusting us through the process.
No doubt, man.
I know it's been a crazy journey, so appreciate that. But yeah, so for captured listings, you can find us on Facebook, and Instagram would be a great place to look at our content, look at what we do on a day-to-day basis, and then reach out to Chloe with the number.
Reach out to Chloe. Listen,
scheduling.
construction guys that listen to this podcast, if you are not filming your renovations or you're not filming your projects or filming your houses, you are losing, ladies and gentlemen. You are losing. You will lose to the algorithm. You need that content out there, and these guys will deliver that to you. Please, if you need their information, DM me. I will get you their info, but you have to film your projects. You have to get your stuff out there. It is an absolute must in 2025 and from here on out. Use these guys, capture listings. Greg, appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you for your time. It's been amazing. I know you're a little hesitant, but I'm glad you did it, man.
We did great. I did it. Yeah,
we did great, awesome. Dude. You have fun?
Super fun. Yeah.
Awesome.
What a plug, by the way. Thank you so much.
Man, appreciate it.
Really appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.